Good morning, it's Debbie. Hope everyone's doing well and has a great start to their weekend. Today or yesterday, we celebrated 8 months on Carnivore and we're doing really well. And let's see, today is March 1st, 2025. And I have to tell you a funny story that happened because we've been doing really well this whole, I've been very, very careful ever since I left my friend Vicky because I have lab work on Monday. So I've been trying to be very, very careful. No dairy, no cheese, nothing. Meat, water, bacon, and eggs. That's pretty much all I've been doing, or we've been doing. So my son wanted to cook a meal for us for his 43rd birthday the other day. So I'm at my daughter's. He came down to my daughter's and he brought stuff for pizza burgers, which was fine. And I just wasn't thinking anything about it. And he cooked up the burgers, put them on a bun, asked Dave to cut it in quarters so we could all take a bite. And I did. I hadn't had a piece of bread since last June. Even on the cruise, when I cheated, I didn't cheat with bread. That's not necessary. I mean, I love it. Before I started Carnivore, I'd been learning how to make jalapeno cheese bread, all sorts of breads I was making, and I loved it. And so, yeah, David and I both put the quarter of a cheeseburger in our mouth, and all of a sudden I was like, well, I just had bread. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, that was that, and it's water under the bridge now. So I'm just hoping for the best on Monday at my lab work. Let's see. I guess that's all for Carnivore because that really sums it up. So if you just wanted to see my update about Carnivore, you can turn it off now. My personal story that I've been putting off, well, it's following in the timeline, but it's not that I don't want to share this. It's that I don't know how to share this. I haven't written it down. It's very loose in my mind. I have to change names because you can't believe the irony of the story, but you're not ever going to know the irony of the story because I have people to protect. So that being said, I will just say to you that I had gotten very lonely. I know where you guys all think it's going, but I don't think so. I had gotten very lonely. I was in my late 40s at this point. And yeah, I just felt alone. The kids were getting whatever they wanted because Dave was allowing it. And to tell you the truth, at some point, I felt like I was going a bit crazy. Between the kids and Dave, I actually went forward at our church because they said the pastor said, I believe somebody here is struggling with suicide and I think you should come forward. I had never really thought about committing suicide because my family's not good at it. We've had a bunch try. I won't name names on that either, but we've had many people in my family try committing suicide through a few generations. It never worked. We're just not really good at it. So I did go forward, and when I got home, I was slightly rebuked and said that, would I really chance going to hell for committing suicide? Well, no, I didn't want to commit suicide. I knew I wouldn't be good at it. I knew I would fail at it. I love my children. I love David. I just felt like I had suicidal thoughts going through my mind. So at about the same time, we had a young woman come in involved in our family. And she was energetic and bubbly. I really enjoyed her. She was a bit older than my children. quite a bit, but her and I really seemed to click. She would come at least every Thursday night and we would watch ER. That's what was on at the time. Sometimes it's hard to think back 20 something years ago. But we just got really, really close. And I didn't realize that I was becoming somewhat dependent on her. I didn't realize that she was filling a need in my life that I knew I had. I just didn't realize I was supposed to be protecting myself from this. I just thought, well, this is just the way I feel and this is the way it is. And I'm in my older 40s and this is my life and this is just how it's going to be. But I didn't keep my eyes out. I didn't keep, I didn't keep my heart guarded. I didn't know what I know now. And in the past, I had been a bit judgmental about some people and couldn't understand what their thought process was or anything. And yeah, I was judgmental. In fact, there's a lot of things I've been judgmental about in my life. And I've decided to quit doing it because somehow whenever I start judging other people, I end up in the middle of it. So I've started thinking over the years, that's just not a great idea. And to tell you the truth, I just believe I've gotten wiser as the years have gone by. I've kept my heart guarded. And so what eventually happened, and I don't want to get graphic at anything, but at one point she was talking and I realized that I would like to have her for me, if you get my drift. It sounds so stupid now. I know it really, really does. Looking back, it just sounds stupid, but she was pulling away from my family a little bit, and I just didn't want to let her go. And so at one point, this is not going to all be right now. This is probably a 20-minute story at least. So I'm going to divide it up into parts, but I think you get my drift. And a prominent woman from church called me at one point after I was walking around crying a lot. I had shared with a friend that we would go for a walk every day. I kept telling her what was going on. She kept saying, I had to stop it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to stop it. I finally, after my whole life, for the first time, I felt like I could really be loved and have some excitement. And so anyway, yes, this prominent woman from the church called and asked if I'd like to go to lunch. I said, yes, I would. We weren't that close, but, she was a prominent woman in the church. And like I said, I had been involved in some of the ministry there. So I went and met for her for lunch, and we had a nice lunch, and we just chit-chatted about different things. And at the end, she looked at me very seriously, and she said, God told me that you need to walk away from her. What? And I looked at her and my heart sank, but I looked at her and I said, why would God tell you to tell me that? Like, how would you know anything about anything? And she said, because God told me. And I said, I get that. Why would God tell you that, to come tell me that? And she said, because the same thing happened to me. I was blown away. I was totally blown away. I would have never considered that fact, never knew it, never shared it with anybody. That's why I'm definitely not naming names in this whole scenario. So anyway, I think that's where I'll end today. I still got off track. I'm not the strong women some of you think I am. Wish I was. I'm stronger now. I know how to guard my heart now. I know where to not take a first step now. I know when I think of something not to let my mind wander. If I think, if, and I'm not saying that I've been totally healed from what happens, because I believe it's okay for people to struggle with things. That's not okay. It's not, the sin isn't thinking about it. The sin is doing something about it, including dwelling on it, because that's doing something about it if you continue to dwell on it. So anyway, that's to say that there's more story to come. I guess that kind of got it out of the bag, so unfortunately there's more, but I will save that for another time, and I don't know when. I've got labs and stuff all day Monday. I think tomorrow's too soon. Dave's got lab work Tuesday, so I guess it'll be like when I figure out my next start and end thing. Then I'll get back with you. Thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for continuing to be an encouragement. Thank you for being my friends. I've really enjoyed many, many of you. And I just feel like there's somebody out there. I'm hoping that the whole reason I'm sharing all of this is that I can show some of you struggling with something. It might not be what I struggle with, but to show you that there is a way out and that God can redeem you and he can totally forgive you. Many of you have commented that God has totally forgiven me. Yes, he totally has, and added wisdom and self-control and patience. I've learned a lot. I'll be 71 soon, and I think I'm pretty proud of how the Lord has taken me from where I was to where I am. I'm happy with me. It may be the first time in my whole life that I've been able to say that, but I think I'm happy with me. And you guys have helped, because you guys have built me up to think that I'm okay. So anyway, like I said, I'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Talk to you then. Bye.